Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we have a bunch of new Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Check out. One of them is one of the most confusing cards. I'll try to explain it, but it is absolutely weird. On top of that, we got new support for a lot of different things that I did not expect to see some support for. This is a really good rank 3 coming out into the game as well as kind of crystal beast slash interesting like back row monster support, but nonetheless, let's go ahead and hop right into the video. So first off, let's go ahead and get started with the Flame Buddy Urka, the Fire Beast, which is actually a really interesting card, or Fire Beast Tamer is the full name. But anyways, level 4 Fire Warrior effect, 1500 attack, 200 defense points. It says you can only use the first and second effects of this card's name once per turn each. So the first part of the effect is, if this card is normal or special summon, you get to target one face-up monster in either player's spell slash trap zone, and you can just special summon it to your field. So obviously, yes, that works with Crystal Beast. There's Elemental Hero combos that you can do with this, as well as if you're playing remote duels, maybe you can sneak an Inferni in the back row, and that would be a big IQ play. But nonetheless, there's a second effect where you can target one other face-up monster you control, and you can equip it to this card, and it's an equip spell that gives it 500 attack. This effect, not really that big of a deal, but there could be some really big plays with this effect. Definitely could do some OTKs with it. Someone's gonna figure out some stuff. I'm wondering if someone's gonna try to, like, what's that card? Silver Sentinel. There's probably lots of other things that you can do. But unfortunately, it does have to be a face-up, so you can't just like set up an artifact to actually pull off the play. But nonetheless, it's a very interesting card. Let me know what cards would work well with Flame Buddy Urka here, because I think it's unique. Next up, though, we have Propa Gan Dake, which is a level 3 Earth Psychic Effect monster, and the stats on it are going to be 500 attack, 2,000 defense points. Looks like it's a level 3 Earth. Anyways, first part of the effect is, once per turn, you get to declare one original type, beast, insect, plant, or rock, from among monsters you control. This card becomes the declared type. The second part of the effect is, if you control this card that has changed its type by its first effect in a monster zone, apply the following effects. Face-up monsters become the same type as this card. Monsters on the field of the same type as this card cannot be targeted by the effects of monsters your opponent controls of the same type. So it's like an interesting effect. Unfortunately, it has to be among monsters you control. I wish you could just convert everything. That'd be kind of more interesting for plays like, you know, obviously we already have like DNA surgery and stuff. The fact that, though, that it has to be like, as long as if you control this card that changes its type, you can't target it, so you're gonna use up your summon for this. I think it's a little bit weak for that effect. If it was something that you can activate like in the hand and then for the rest of the turn, that would be a little bit more interesting, a little bit more powerful. But I'm not sure if there's gonna be some weird combos with this. You guys can let me know if you've got any crazy ideas with Propa Gan Dake over here. Next up, though, we have the Hidden Jewel of the Hydrosphere, Katrin. It's a level 2 rock, water rock effect monster. Here is the artwork. The stats are 500 attack, 1600 defense points. It says you can only use the first and second effects of this card's name once per turn each. The first part of the effect is you can discard this card during your main phase this turn. You can normal summon one earth or water monster in addition to your normal summon slash set. You can only gain this effect once per turn. The second part is, you can control a earth monster and a water monster while this card is in your graveyard. You can spell summon this card, but banish it if it leaves the field. So that's a very interesting effect. It's almost like a double summon, but like you get still another monster at the end of the day. Might be kind of interesting to see if someone actually goes off and figures out a combo with that one as well. Next up, we have Evil Awakening Master Night Melt, which is a level 4 Wind Psychic effect monster, 1500 attack and 1500 defense points. And it says you can only use the effect of this card's name once per turn. So the first part of it says you contribute one monster to special summon one monster with a different original name, but the same original type, attribute, level, and attack and defense from your deck, or if you tribute it a monster that was special summoned from the extra deck, you can special summon it from the extra deck instead. Wow, that's a really interesting effect. This card's got some potential for sure, and that's it. There's no other like negative conditions of like you cannot special summon except for like Exceeds or something. That's a good card. All right, next up, though, this card is actually really good. This card I did see the effect of. This is subspecies King Asura, so this is a new king, like definitely a little bit of a boss monster over here. 2100 attack, rank 3 Earth Warrior Exceeds effect monster. 2100 attack, 0 defense points. Materials are going to be 3 plus level 3 monsters. And it says you can use the third effect of this card's name only once per turn. So the first part of the effect is, while this card has any number of materials, it can attack up to that many times during each battle phase. So that could be 3 attacks at 2100, not too bad. The second part is, if this card battles at the start of the damage step, it gains 200 attack. And I believe this is permanent because it doesn't say until the end of the turn. So you would attack for, you know, I believe it would be the first attack would actually activate the effect, because at the start of the damage step. So basically it's a 2300 attacker. And then it goes from 23 to 25, and then you have 27. And attacks, remember, that many times. And if you have more materials, it's going to attack more times, too. But the other effect that makes it actually good over here is when another monster's effect is activated. It's a quick effect. You can detach a material from this card to negate the activation. If you do, destroy it. So that effect is a once per turn, but it's a negate, destroy. It is a rank 3, so definitely we'll be seeing some play in a lot of different decks for sure. And next up, Asura. Okay, this is just like the lore thing. Okay, this is one of the most confusing cards, and I'll try to solve it for you guys because I saw a lot of people saying this card is so confusing on Yu-Gi-Oh form. So this is the unlimited free radio jamming. Here is the artwork on it. It is going to be a continuous spell, and we got like the calculator that has an error on the back. I know it is a little bit confusing. The first time I read it, I was like, what? Okay, so here's how it works. It's a continuous spell card that says during damage calculation, if a monster battles while a monster with 1,000 or higher attack is just on the field, that part just has to exist. The attack of each monster on the field becomes the same as the numerical value of their attack after losing 1,000 attack for every 1,000 attack they have. So basically you just take off whatever, like if it's under 1,000 attack, like for the numbers, like if it's like 1,850, it just does 850, if that kind of makes sense. You just remove like the thousands part. Like if it's like 3,850, then it's just 850 still. So it's kind of more of like maybe a troll stall card, but they also lose 1,000 attack for every 1,000 attack they have, and then it's the defense of each monster on the field becomes the same numerical value of their defense after losing 1,000 defense for every 1,000 defense they have. So basically kind of the same stats. It should just be 1,000 attack and defense. That I think make a little bit more sense, but it's the same effect basically for defense. Now that's not it. So the second part is if this card is destroyed, the attack of each monster in the field becomes the same as the numerical value of their attack after losing 1,000 attack for every 1,000 attack they have. The defense of each monster on the field becomes the same as the numerical value of their defense after losing 1,000 defense for every 1,000 defense they have until the end of this turn. So basically what it comes down to is it has that effect, right? And then if someone destroys this card, it just applies this effect again until the end of the turn. Hopefully that makes a little bit more sense. If it doesn't, you guys can argue in the comment section below how it works. I've seen so many people argue in different forms about free radio jamming because I actually looked it up. I was like, wait, what? It is confusing. And I totally get it. So let's not linger too much on this card because we still got more cards to check out. Maybe we'll just make a video when the card comes out, and then that will make things so much easier. But I get it. It's confusing. Anyways, separation of the realm of the living arc sundered from Overroot, which is a normal trap card that says activate only one card with this card's name per turn. The first part of the effect is target 2 cards in your opponent's possession, 1 they control and 1 in their graveyard. Send that card on the field to the graveyard. If you do, set that card in their graveyard directly to their field. That could be kind of interesting. Now, looking at this effect, because I actually haven't seen this card before, that could be very, very useful. Like if you're playing like Chaos Max, right? It's just like, okay, I'm gonna get rid of like your powerful card, then I'm gonna send a different card to the graveyard, and then I'm gonna set you a card that has like really low defense, and I just one-shot you. That could be something to think about. I don't know how many other uses it has for that, because giving your opponent an extra card is usually not what I consider the best of plays. But next up we have the Sajin no Dai Hurricane Twin Dust Trinade. So Giant Trinade's coming back, kind of in a weird form though. It's a trap. It bounces back the sets. So it says you can only activate 1 card with this card's name per turn. So the first part says target any number of set cards in your spell and trap zones. Return to the hand both this card and as many of those set cards as possible. Then you can set spells/traps in your hand equal to the number return to your hand. So what I find interesting, you return to the hand of both this card. So this card technically can have infinite trap uses. Now, what would be the point of this, right? Because you're just basically bouncing things back. There could be certain Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and I don't know any off the top of my head, where like if a trap card is activated, you can do this, because this card is going to be infinitely used, more than likely, right? Or there are those like cards like Scrap Iron, and well, there's like the other one for the synchros where it negates the effect. You could be bouncing those back, but then what does it do if you reset them? Unless the cards can be activated the same turn they're set, then somehow if you could use this, what is it? Maybe with Temple of the Kings. You could maybe do some really weird things with this. I like when there's interesting Yu-Gi-Oh cards that gets people's, like, you know, brains turning for, like, what can we do with this? But nonetheless, there's a reprint of a Elemental Hero Flame Wingman as a bonus card. Okay, it's just, I guess it's a reprint and whatever. These are coming out in Power of the Elements. But anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts on some of these Yu-Gi-Oh cards down below. If you guys enjoyed the video, drop a like on it. If you're new here, subscribe, turn the bell so you don't miss out on more new Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I'll catch you guys on the next video. Take care. See you later. Peace.